These are simply awesome speaker cables. I have an amp with banana plugs, speakers without, and I was prepared to simply cut off the other ends, but what a bonus, these cables have a pair of set screws inside each banana plug, as opposed to soldered, or crimped, making them completely removable and reinstallable if I ever buy new speak. How cool is that? So indeed these are very thick cables, with many, supposedly 250 plus, I didn't count, tiny, real copper wires. I saw many of the other cables were copper-plated aluminum. Well, copper is rather expensive these days, but sound quality is not a place to skimp. With so many small wires, the cables are not at all stiff. I'm not an audiophile, but I swear I can hear a difference. Okay, the fact that I replaced 3 twisted pair silver-colored PA wire might have an effect. But seriously, these are really quite awesome cables. I bought 5 of these for now, 2 for each of my main speakers for bi-amping, 1 for my center channel. My primary speakers are B&W CM8S2, and I prefer bi-amping. Since the copper is finely stranded, these cables are very easy to manage and don't easily kink. They come properly packaged in loops, not wound-tight like sheep cables leaving you to straighten or to kink the wire. This is 12-gauge wire, so it's far larger than what most people are used to seeing for speaker wire. It's probably bigger than what is really necessary, but it's what I like. I want the most out of my awesome speakers, and using the larger gauge should minimize any loss or signal degradation, even if for me the signal travels only 6 feet. The bananas fit snugly into my speakers and receiver. They're not extremely long shells, and I like the look of both the bananas and the cable. See my photo. As others have noted, these aren't soldered or bonded by any fancy means other than a screw securing the wire to the banana plug. This doesn't bother me, in fact, I like it because I can more easily repair or replace connectors if ever that become necessary. The outer shell screws over the banana and cable, and it had worked loose on about half the cables in shipping. If that happens, just screw them down. Done. These are my new favorite speaker cables. I only wish Sewell sold the wire in spools shorter than 200 feet. If they did, I'd buy some to have on hand. Maybe I'll call and bag them anyway. Buy the cables. If you're any kind of audiophile in training, these would give you good sound and make you feel good about wiring your system with beefy cable that people will look at and proclaim, holy cow. This has to be the best speaker cable I've used. It is heavy wire coming in at 12 AWG, so no surprise there, but for my application, it was also very flexible and easy to work with. The banana plugs are great. The silver portion screws off easily and exposes the gold banana plug, which has 2 screws making the contact with the copper strands. I knew I needed a length of about 30 to 35 feet, so I ordered the 50 feet length with the intention to cut to the actual length needed. I was pleased to find that the banana plugs were so easy to work with. Just the 2 screws, then the cover piece. I'm no expert on how the distance of a speaker wire and the AWG of wire used affects the speaker's performance. I've read many different forum conversations and online help guides and taken from them what I think is the right way to go. I've read some that say no matter what distance and what AWG wire you use, you will have loss of sound quality. So for me it was more of a give it a go type thing. And using this 12 AWG speaker wire, about a 35 feet length, my rear speakers are just as clear as my front and center speakers and in balance as well, no loss of volume to them. I'm very pleased with the final outcome. I will go as far as to say, anytime I'm looking for speaker wire, this will be my first choice. Cable is of nice quality as it is 12 gauge, plus a nice PVC jacket cover. The Silverback connectors I like because of the dual set screw design really holds the cable in. Problem is that with 12 gauge wire and the thick PVC jacket, the person assembling it often has exposed wire. This is not much of an issue if the Silverback covers are screwed on properly. I received the cable and two of the screw-on silver covers were completely off. It could be a function of the design, and result of shipping, not necessarily the person who put it together. However, it is a QC issue that Sewell should handle. I took some time to inspect the cable, and it turns out that whomever assembled it had cut some of the stranded ends when the wire was stripped. Still plenty of connection since 14 gauge would work fine, but still, I question the assembly technique. Being familiar with the Silverback connectors when doing my own speaker wire runs, I just redid the connection myself. I love the connectors, the cable works and looks great, easy to work with, flexible design. Would I buy it again if needed? Yes. Would I double check the connectors if they are loose on arrival? I only use 12 AWG speaker wire in my home. Whether or not I need to use 12 AWG is not the point. Build quality is excellent, the banana plugs are solid and fit snug into my speaker terminals and power amplifier. Click link in description for more reviews.